Ladies and gentlemen, over here with the senior Teofimo Lopez. First of all, congrats, after your son went out there and did a great performance as he always does. How you guys feel about, this victory now added against?
It's a great win. I thought that my son did an amazing job, being that the guy came in there just to survive. And it's a little bit harder to go against a guy that's just trying to survive, trying to box, not pushing the fight. So we got to look for the knockout. We got to look for that knockout. So after the first round, I knew we had him. It was just a matter of time. And I told my son, to stay composed, to keep on doing what he was doing. And, I told him sooner or later we're going to get him,
Hey, it's great always to see your son, he's developing the more and more. I mean, he's young. He got, the skills. But everybody's been asking, or actually, I want to ask this. Which fight it was more competitive? Was it this fight that he has against Edis, or the fight that he had before with Magdaleno?
I really believe that Magdaleno was more of a challenge. Magdaleno came to fight, and Magdaleno came to survive, and he took a lot of good shots, but we always gonna manage to find out how to beat you. In this business, you gotta know how to adapt, and that's what my son does. I don't see nobody at the 135 weight division right now more heavy-handed and more boxing IQ right now at this moment. Nobody. I know Lomachenko is going to come to fight, and we want that. We want that because my son is just way too strong, way too big for this weight division. So when that fight does happen, I see my son stopping Lomachenko in less than 6.
Oh, that's some strong message in order that if Lomachenko is going to hear this interview. But why is it that right now, I don't know if it's Bob Aaron or I don't know if it's Edis, who doesn't want to make this fight happen? Because, you guys feel like you guys are ready.
No. This guy wants us to get a world title. Okay, we'll get it in July. And then he ain't going to have no excuse. So let's see if he drops down to 130. Then everybody's going to know that he's ducking my son. Do we want the fight? Yes. Do I want it right now? No. Because it don't make no sense. It don't make no money. Let's get that world title, and then face Lomachenko. We could do it earlier. We don't have to wait till February. We could make it happen in September. I know he's hurt right now, so I think that a fight with him in September will be amazing. And I think we will sell out any arena in the world. So as of right now, what I'm looking forward is to winning the world title and then, putting it on Lomachenko's face. Okay, here, we got the world title. Now what you gonna do?
Well, eventually it's going to happen. And let's say, why is it the reason that you guys won? If it doesn't happen right now, Lomachenko, you guys, is your plan for all of you and your team to fight Lomachenko, let's call it, if it is right now in his prime? Because you guys don't want to fight Lomachenko like later on, in a few years later. And let's say an example, right? I'm not saying that your son is gonna win, because I don't know, but if he does win, you guys don't want to hear it that, oh, he fought the older Lomachenko, so you guys don't want to hear it, right?
No. The thing is that he's showing a lot of signs that he's getting old. He's showing a lot of signs that all his amateur career and his fights is catching up to him. He's not getting younger, he's getting older. Of course, if we get him earlier, it's better. Like that, nobody has any say-so about, okay, he was too old. Okay, Teofimo caught him at a bad time. He was just too young, too freaking, a lion. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear excuses like we always hear from all the haters. We want Lomachenko now. I want to get the title and then get him. Then go right after him. We don't need to fight nobody else.
So right now, I would say that there's no you guys have a plan in order to get Lomachenko in order that this fight happens. Eventually, it's not gonna happen sooner. The question is, did we see yet a Teofimo Lopez, a better skills, or we haven't seen it yet,
No,
his whole skills?
Of course not, because we always chasing the fight. Nobody has ever pushed them to box. We don't make no boring fights. We stole the show that night. I mean, nobody did what he did. He won every round. He came to look for the fight. That's what the fans want. Fans don't want to see a guy boxing backwards, and my son could do that, but we decide not to do it. We take risk. We go forward. Of course, you're gonna get hit when you do that, but it's how many times you get hit, and it's how you take the hit and move forward. We don't play it safe. We want to please the crowd. That's what Teofimo does. He brings the action, and that's what people have been missing in boxing, and that's what we're bringing to the shows right now.
That's something that all the fight fans, they've been, keep an eye on, of course, on yourself, on your son, because since we follow and seeing the career of Teofimo Lopez, I think he's becoming, getting better and better and better, and simply I feel in my behalf, we haven't seen the best Teofimo yet.
Yeah, we fought the number 3 guy in the world, ranked number 3 in the world. We made it look easy, like we always are. European champion, never been knocked out in 34 fights. So it wasn't an easy task, but we made it look easy. And that's what we're gonna do to Comey. That's what we're gonna do to Lomachenko. That's what we're gonna do to whoever has the belts. And we just want to get that opportunity. We're not hiding from nobody.
That's something that we would like to see all the fight fans. Eventually, if Teofimo is gonna reach out for whoever has a title, I think it's gonna be a great fight for everyone.
It's already here. We're gonna fight in July. We could fight Comey, we could fight Luke Campbell, we could fight whoever's there. We're not hiding from nobody. And that's what the fight fans don't understand. We are the real deal.
Are you guys agree when some fighters they call out, but then later on they be like, and see probably your son, the skills that he possesses, and he's been composed. Later on he backed up, or it's something that they would like to, or they choose another opponent?
Well, listen. The most scariest thing is to have a boxer that's committed, that's gonna come and take your head off. Nobody want to fight somebody like that. So that's what we do. You got to win the fight before the fight. We've been doing that ever since.
Since, father and son.
Once they feel their power, once they get cracked, and my son doesn't miss. They realize they're in there with a real one.
Like father and son. As I mentioned this, how does it work in your relationship with your son? Let's say in case if you would see something wrong on your son, would you be able to stop your son or correct something in order that nothing is gonna happen to your son?
Well, of course, that's what we do. We work a lot. We work a lot on defense. He's never been hurt in 13 fights. I've never seen him get hurt, or he has never lost a round. We're doing it right. One thing that I told my son: this is only going to work if you learn not to get hit. So we try to get not hit the most possible. You're always gonna get hit. We're in the fighting game. It's how you take the punch and how you take and not get hit. And that's what we do in every fight. And if you look at him, he's almost a perfection of that. I teach him to stay in the pocket and not get hit, which is very difficult to do.
Well, not all the trainers, they will do that. Your son seems to me that every knowledge, everything that I would say you have in your mind, you give it to your son, you teach your son, and I think 2019 is gonna be a great show that your son is gonna perform, which whoever is in front of him. Junior, is there any message that you would like to say to the fight fans and everyone that supports
just
boxing
tune in,
and
watch his career. Tune in, watch his career. I'll let everybody know when we're fighting, but I think we're fighting at the end of July or the middle of July. So I'll let everybody know.
Thank you for your time and always everything that you do, and know that we could see your son developing all the skills that eventually comes from you, and wishing you nothing but the best. So guys, stay tuned for more details. Junior Lopez, Teofimo Lopez, stay tuned on their account, so definitely they're gonna post it soon who's the next opponent. Thank you, Teofimo.
It's a takeover, baby. Let's go.